this really interesting article about the Papua region.
Yeah.
And it's focusing on one of their leaders.
Yeah.
And this call to action he's put out.
Yeah, a really significant voice in the region. And it's not just some background noise. This is a direct appeal that could actually signal, some pretty big shifts in how the region engages with the national, issues going on and even in its own development.
So who is this leader? The article highlights Gary Juffa.
Right.
And he's the Northern Provincial member.
Yep.
Which is also known as Oro.
That's right.
So he's a directly elected rep for that part of Papua.
Exactly. And from that position, he's made it clear, he's really urging other leaders in the Papua region to stop taking the back seat when it comes to discussions on the national level.
Stop taking the back seat.
Yeah.
That's a pretty strong image.
Right.
It's not just saying, hey, let's adjust a little.
Yeah.
This is there needs to be a huge change in how they're approaching things on the national stage.
Definitely.
So what does he want to see happen?
He wants them to step up and become much more assertive in shaping the future of the region,
Right.
Think about it like moving from just observing to actually taking the wheel and driving development forward.
And this is what I find super interesting.
Yeah.
This idea that they need to stop being weak.
Yeah.
That suggests that right now he feels like the region isn't as strong as it could be.
Exactly.
Like maybe they're being overlooked or they're not being vocal enough about what they need.
That's a really important point. It's not just that they want more, it's that they feel like they haven't been advocating for themselves strongly enough, and their needs and aspirations on this national level aren't being met.
So listener, why should you care about this?
Right.
Well, how regions are led and how their leaders engage at the national level has a huge ripple effect.
Yeah.
This influences things like resource allocation, policy making.
Absolutely.
The whole thing.
Yeah. So if you're interested in, really understanding how national development happens, and particularly the trajectory of the Papua region, this call to action, this call for more assertive leadership, that could be a huge indicator of potential shifts in their priorities and, the influence they have within the country.
Yeah.
It raises all sorts of questions about the balance of power and how regions are represented.
So to wrap up our deep dive today, Gary Juffa, a prominent leader in Papua, is calling for other leaders in his region to become more proactive.
Yes.
More assertive in national affairs.
Exactly.
He wants them to move away from this what he sees as a backseat role to really drive the development of their region.
And that brings us to a final thought for you, the listener. What do you think are the potential advantages and disadvantages for a region when its leaders decide to become more assertive in national politics?
Right.
And what might explain why a region feels like it has to take a backseat in the first place?
Interesting stuff to think about.
Definitely.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We'll catch you next time.
See you.